Miranda's Cauldron. Yeah, it's been a while. I had family visiting for a couple of weeks in September, and I was it's great when family visits and when we do family get togethers. But I was exhausted. Just a different from my normal routine. Speaking of morning routines, I was almost late for the live stream because of my morning routine. Even though it's not I wouldn't consider a typical morning routine. Back, I can't remember, like early 2000s, I think it was. There was a little cop show, cop drama, which was different. Bones. So I've been rewatching that. It's on regular TV, so I don't have to stream it, even though I believe it is on Amazon. So every morning I just relax with a cup of coffee and my breakfast and watch 2 episodes of Bones. So that's kind of what I do Monday to Friday mornings. My mind just went, whew. So let's see, we had Rachel pop in about half an hour ago. Finishing book 4 for release is my main goal. My brain is just not wanting to focus. Aw, maybe you just need a little break. Hug to the like button. I have to handle some chores, but hopefully we'll be back. Well, good luck on the chores, and I know I will see you back here. Because if all things go well, I'll be on for a minimum of 2 hours, maybe even 3. We'll see. Because the next person I will be sprinting with will be Sam, which will be in 3 hours. And just as a little reminder, if you know of the Broken Chapter Society, there is a special event happening in honor of the full moon. So check out the membership and probably your email, because I'm pretty sure there's probably an email as well. Today, since it's Monday, I will be figuring out my week with my chart of projects I want to get done. I don't put it down into really like tiny steps. Like my number one goal is, of course, writing. And I put down what projects I'm working on, which books. So I've been focusing on Witches of Solace. Even though with Lear, I should probably go back and figure out the beats and the pacing, because when I wrote these books originally, I never really thought of story beats. And then I read Save the Cat. So having a better understanding of the whole story beats that people talk about all the time at writing sprints and videos and what have you. So I really should do that. But first, because of the silly mail strike up in Canada, when you live in rural Saskatchewan, we don't have regular deliveries for Amazon. So it goes to our mailbox and we get a little text saying, we tried to deliver your package. Because when the post lady puts it in her system, we get a mail that it has if it wasn't delivered. So I'm not sure how I'm going to be going around getting my proof copy, but I do have a son and daughter who lives in the city, and they actually get home delivery with an Amazon truck. So I might just do that because I've been putting it off and putting it off. Like I wanted to have it done in July. It was sort of done. And then I was gone for most of July. And then I got back home and I went through it again and got it all ready. Did up a mock cover and all that. And then all ready. And boom, strike. We'll just have to see what's going on. Soldot, welcome. Soldat, Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to do things a little different for my sprints for the timing today. Even though if you've been around for a while, I normally do this if there's no one straight behind me or if I have time. So the first sprint is going to be 20 minutes, just like a warm up. And then I'm going to go with 30. And then the third sprint will probably be a 40. And then back to a 30 and back to a 20. Because like I said, I have 3 hours that I don't have to worry about someone else behind me because one of the reasons why I decided to host sprints was fill in. Whoops, sorry about that. One of those callers that I don't want to talk to, like telemarketer, because it's an 888 number. So yeah. So I like to fill in the spaces through the Heart Breathings Writing community. Or, for example, like I try not to miss HK Darkwood's sprints, who sprints 3 days a week. But right now she's on holiday. Something about a new house being delivered. So she's took the summer off and she hasn't been back yet. So that is why on Wednesday I will be sprinting in the afternoon. It's at right after Angela. So it's like 2 Eastern. Yeah. So that's enough of me chatting. I am going to bring up the kitty timer and share it, which is one thing I often forget to do is the whole sharing of the screen until I've later. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do this one. I guess it's been a while. Share screen of the kitty timer, and I will see you in 20 minutes. And that's when I will draw a first card. See you in 20. That was her first sprint. The next one will be a 30, just as a reminder. Hey, Rachel returned, got the master bathroom cleaned and laundry traded out, then swept my office. Things are getting clean and fresh. I can't wait to open the window. Well, I guess you're not freezing where you are. It went down to, I think it was like -2 was supposed to be last night. Of course, this is Celsius. Now it's +4 Celsius, and it's a little windy, but it's cold. I haven't even been outside yet. I will feed my kitties during the 40-minute sprint. Even though I probably do have time to go feed them now, which I probably should because it is 10:30 my time, and I normally feed them between 9 and 10. Okay, we've got Soldat. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. Okay, all I did was open the document. I think I need another coffee to actually start. Yes, coffee. Coffee sounds like a good idea. I think I may bring up another mug of coffee when I go downstairs and feed the kitties. And for Rachel, it's hot. Nope, it's hot here. Oops, I skipped one. Here we go. Coastal NC, North Carolina, 83 today. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's pretty warm. I know last week we were probably about there here last week. It was warm but not hot. So it might have been like the low 70s here. But this is better than it has been. It's not as humid as it's been, and was in the late 90s last week. Wow. Yeah, so you have like summer all year round. I like fall because it's not too hot, not too cold. You can wear shorts if you want to. You can wear jeans. You can wear a t-shirt. You don't need mittens and coats and all that stuff. I do not like winter. Not at all. And winter where I am, it's really different than Ontario cold and Alberta cold. Alberta cold, it can get pretty cold. Like when we were living there, usually January, I didn't want to leave the house. It was very, very cold and windy. Here, well, in Saskatchewan, it can be really cold and really windy, and it's like -40. I am not kidding you. So there's some days that I feed the kitties on the deck. I call them because, well, they need their food, but if it's stormy and miserable, they don't want to come out in that mess. So I just wait till it dies down and then feed them on the deck. And I also keep their water pretty fresh on the deck because I get freezes. So I just put a little bit in at a time. Okay, speaking of cats, let's do a cat wisdom card in honor of the full moon. Who am I kidding? I do these kind of sprints and cards every time I sprint. But on the full moon, I do tend to do more. So let's draw the cat wisdom card for today. We need this little card sticking out a little bit. And we've got wake up and get started. Maybe that's a little reminder or a little tug at some people that maybe you do need another cup of coffee. Raccoons. Yes, we get raccoons. Here we get raccoons. Not very much. I don't believe I've ever seen opossums. Raccoons are more, I saw a lot of raccoons when I was in Ontario. And same with porcupines. Porcupines are crazy there, probably because of the woods. And here, a lot of skunks. A lot of gophers. and badgers. Badgers are pretty big and pretty scary. For squirrels, I do believe squirrels are more in the city than here. I'm thinking again because of the trees. I know when we were living in Alberta, there was squirrels everywhere. When we put food out for the cats, we wound up with much more. Usually it's just the cats. There might be a few neighboring barn cats. I do know there's quite a few. They're just called town cats. They don't really, no one owns them. They just live in the village. And when I say village, there might be 20 houses, maybe 30. Yeah, I'm thinking there's probably closer to 20. And Rachel says, "Why do you have to be so direct? Wake up and get started." Yes, the little kitties. And it's so cute because the little kitty is bugging its little puppy friend to, hey, wake up, get started. Could be my husband too. My goodness. This morning he was waking. What time was it? It was still dark. I think it was like 5:30. He says to me, "Wake up and take a picture of the full moon. It's so cool." So I get up, take a picture. Well, let's just say probably should clean my windows because all you can see is like the dirt on the windows. So I went back to sleep. An hour later, he's talking to the dog. I'm like, seriously? Can you just be quiet? It's too early in the morning. But I did set my alarm because I didn't have the kids today. I babysit them. Babysit 4. And they're usually here between 6 and 6:30. So when I don't have the kids, I like to sleep in till at least 8 or 7:30. Yeah. So that's my little blurb. And I just started, and sometimes you just feel like talking and you're just rambling about nothing. So I'm going to go back into the kitty timer and change it to 30 minutes for our next sprint. Change the time to 30. And set the time. And I'll see you in 30. And I will feed the kitties. And welcome back. How did everybody do? There's quite a chatter in the chat box. Jenna pops in. Hiya, just wrapped a bunch of meetings going into an edit. Hope you are all well. Jenna's supporting everyone. This is a great little writing community, that's for certain. And a shout out to Jenna and Rachel, who also host their own streams. Rachel usually Thursday late afternoon, actually right after Diane over at the Heart Breathing Writing Community. And Jenna sprints Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. And of course on Double Down Day, which we just had this past weekend. Hopefully everybody got a lot done who participated. I know I got through a lot of behind the scenes, I like to say. They're not really writing, not really revising or editing or marketing or any of that fun stuff. For Witches of Solace, I wrote it, I think it was like at least 12 to 15 years ago. And it was, let's just say there's some secrets, and the secrets have been tangling up to be a big mess. And now I have readers, critique partners who've been helping me polish it and seeing with a different set of eyes. So I've been kind of focused on that. So I went through a pile of sticky notes. I'm not kidding you. It must be like this much. And I wrote it down into colored notepads. Each one has its own color. Yes, I'm really into coloring. Oh, yeah, that too. Like my daughter and I and Sam, when they were little, we used to color all the time. But each one of my main characters have their own color. So it was perfect that these little sticky notepads, and I'm just going to keep them together. I'm not going to unstick them because I don't need to. So I spent hours doing that on Saturday. So now I'm finally ready to dive into chapter summaries. And if I remember, I'm going to post a couple of videos later today on my YouTube channel. I didn't edit them together. I had one part of it, the camera looking at me, and then I tried to reverse the camera to show my desk, and it wouldn't work. Probably because I'm not too digitally or technical savvy. So I have to post those two. But in the meantime, let's continue with these, because it doesn't matter if I go over the timer with my runes. Sodalite, date. I keep wanting to say sodalite because of the blue stone, which I'm sure I have. This one came from Ontario, not too far from my hometown. Lit up candles, made myself a coffee, and I'm going through a writing course. So far, not bad. I will see how I feel later. And that is a good step. I quite often forget to light my candle. So I did that during my last sprint. It's a Halloween one with a little skeleton. Apparently it's supposed to be a cat and this cute little witch's hat to go with it. And it came, inside it was a necklace of a cat playing with the moon, I think it was. And she continues, I think that tomorrow I'll just pick up my laptop and drive into some kind of coffee shop to work from there. That is amazing that you can actually do that. I am one of those people that cannot write at a coffee shop. I can't even write at a library because it's too quiet. And quite often I forget my headphones, earbuds to go with my music on my phone. But I do remember when we were living in the city, we were walking distance to, I'm not kidding you, 3 coffee shops and a couple of Tim Hortons, but you can't really stay, but their coffee is so yummy. So quite often I would go there if I want to just new spot, and I just read and revise. I can't write in a place like that. And when we moved to Saskatchewan, there's a rink close by with like a kitchen combined to it, and I would go down there and help serve the spectators or whatever. And quite often, I would bring one of my whatever book I'm working on, and just read and revise there. So it was a kind of, it was fun, a little bit different. But I know a lot of writers who go to coffee shop and literally can stay there all day. That's just me. I just can't do that. I'm gonna shuffle the witches familiar, the runic oracles. Oh, this one's sticking out, so I'm going to use it, and it is with the owl, and it's the Canes. Looks like a little. See, I'm not even sure if you can even see him properly. But it's with, I should know this, but I don't. I want to say it's to do with karma, but let me just check in the booklet and find out for sure. And being with an animal also gives other kind of information and tips. So this kind of deck is good for, I like it because it has a combination of animals and runes. And in my story, which is of Solace, it involves around runes. Keywords: enlightenment, creativity, skill, learnings. Has the hot, bright energy of fire in the illuminating torch. Explains why there's a torch with the barn owl. It represents the search of truth and knowledge in a burning creative drive. And of course, being creatives ourselves, that's a really good card for us. Okay, so that is it for this sprint. I am going to add additional 10 minutes for the sprint. So I'm going to be doing 40 minutes. And yes, I'm going to be doing an additional, instead of the normal 2 hours, I'm going to do 3 hours. I am getting lots done with my HB90 stuff. I even figured out my task blocks from last week. So this time around, I am going to be doing a comparison of what I thought I was going to get done with Tracy, the revised writer's planning system of 168 hours, compared to the HB90 system, what I actually got done. Best of luck, and see you in 40 minutes. I'm going to just go hit the mute and then change the timer. And that was the end of our long sprint. Next up will be a 30-minute sprint and then a 20. How did everybody do? I am happy to report that I got my last week's test box all figured out. I was very impressed with myself that I put in 20 hours of writing. It helped for double down day because I think I put in like 9 hours, which was pretty fabulous, even though there was a break. I think it was a 4-hour break. And well, Melissa, not with Power Play Press, a different Melissa, I sprint with her with HK Darkwood. She occasionally does a pop-up marathon. So during those 4 hours of no sprints with double down day, I popped over to her sprint. And I got a lot accomplished. So that was really good. And I might even for the next sprint actually do my reflection questions from this past week, which is pretty outstanding considering that I didn't even do the reflection questions from the end of July. Sure, 2 of those weeks I was with my new grandbaby, so that's understandable. But I was home all the whole entire month of August by myself, but I didn't get it done. And I think I got finished August month end. Either that or I'm like halfway through. So progress, small steps. Even though part of me wants to say, do I really need those reflection questions of how my month went? I did do the weekly, but they're different questions and they're very insightful. So even if I had to do it like in October, I got it done, which is pretty good. And just as a reminder, I will be sprinting again on Wednesday. I will put up the details during the sprint. If you are a member of the Broken Chapter Society, there's this secret full moon happening this sprint later. So check out the YouTube and or email for the details for that. I'm going to shuffle the tarot cards. And I'm also going to draw a Moonology card this time. So here we have the tarot card. And I might even do 2. Okay, this one's sticking out. So I'm going to do that one. And I'm going to choose this one. And let's see. And the deck is the Gilded Tarot. That's the back. And the first one is the Four of Wands. A cheerful little family get-together, which is quite fitting since for Canadians, Thanksgiving is this weekend. And I will be spending it with the extended family. My son and his wife and the grandbaby and her family. We always get together on holidays, which is really good because majority of my family and my husband's family are separated between most of them living in Ontario and a few in Alberta. So that is quite fitting for that one. And why do I have 3 cards? Maybe because this one was the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to use that as well. Ooh, this one, I like this one. 6 of Swords. And the other card I drew, 2 of Wands. Wands is creativity. 2 of Wands, in my opinion, is you have a choice to make. Which way you're going to go? Which path? And the 6 of Swords for me is a journey. Perhaps you're going to drop off your obstacles and your hardships. In the meantime, yes, in 20 seconds, we're going to hear the little kitty meow, but I'm going to continue. And don't forget, if you haven't already, because we've been here for almost 2 hours, to get up and stretch. Refill your water bottle. If all you've been having is coffee this morning, you definitely need water. Okay, so the Two of Wands for this deck suggests having moved forward from the energy and ideas that the Ace brought, the Two of Wands showed the initial stages have progressed to get the project off the ground. While the Ace is a wonderful card in theory, it cannot become significant if the energy is not manifested into reality. It's a positive card that shows you moving in the direction of your goals and ambition. You're moving forward, but there's that pathway. Do you want to go right or left? Four of Wands. We now see stability as the result of the hard work that has gone before. Holidays are indicated a time for rest and relaxation with your family and those you love. A welcome pause to recharge your batteries. Recharge your batteries. Self-care. Refill the well. So the next one is Six of Swords. The meaning of the Six of Swords is quite literally moving out of the stormy waters into calmer ones. If you have experienced difficult time, this card assures you that no matter the matters will improve and harmony will once again be restored. May even be an actual journey. So those are those three cards. The next sprint will be back down to 30. So I will change the kitty timer because it says 38. And best of luck for the next sprint. See you in 30. And that was the end of that sprint. I got my reflections questions down from last week. It was quite illuminating, and I'm so glad I actually did it today and not like next week, because I've been kind of putting off the questions. I don't know why, because I like the reflection questions for the planning of your week and your month. It tells what it's going to be like for next time. Okay, we've got hi. Sorry if I missed last break. I lost track of timing during the writing course. That is fabulous. That means you were into it. You were in the zone. And that is so good. So I guess your writing in your mood has changed since we started 2.5 hours ago. That is fantastic. I've also been setting up the last 15 minutes or so of my sprints that I want to participate in this coming week. And I checked on Jody Jean's Facebook, not Facebook, but their YouTube channel. And she is in fact sprinting tonight and tomorrow at noon Eastern, just before Diane sprints at 2 to 4. And on Wednesday, if everything goes same for Angela, she's up to sprint on Wednesday at noon, and then I'm on right after her. And then Jenna later in the evening, around supper time, at 5 Eastern for Wednesday. So that's the next few days for sprints. I'm done with that and wrote 379 words. That's fabulous. Fantastic. Oh, excuse me. Fantastic. Jenna, landlady, stopped by to say hello down to the final 20 pages so I can send this edit back today. Ooh, so you're editing for someone else. Fun. Sold it. Honestly, it took me a bit to start writing. I'm at that point where I know the major scenes that must happen, but I haven't figured out how to fill the gaps. Could it be the middle? I understand a lot of people have trouble with the middle. Personally, when I wrote my 2 first books, each book I wrote actually 2 books, because by the time I was finished, it was like 170,000 words or something like that. So I broke those down into 2. And when I started my writing, I didn't really worry about the beats and the pacing. And at least now I know what people mean by pacing. A lot of it to do with your beats. So I'm working on that now. So it's been a little of an eye-opener. So that is fabulous. Fantastic. I am going to draw a Moonology card for the last break, even though we'll stop in afterwards and see how we did. I'm going to do the pretty purple ones, the manifestation cards. I say these are the pretty ones because look at all the pretty colors. It's like pink and purple and yellow and a pretty green. Hope I need to shuffle them properly because I don't want to see the cards when I shuffle. I'm going to shuffle those. And just as a reminder of our cat wisdom card, we got wake up and get started. That was our first card. That's quite fitting because some of us were having problems starting. But look at us now. We've got lots done. I'm usually fine with it. I'm more of a panther anyway. but only on good days, and that's not today. I even considered opening a different whip, but I really want to finish this first draft by Christmas. Oh, you're usually a pantser. I'm kind of, I always thought I was a plotter, but then when I watched Sarah's latest video, I'm definitely a combination because a plotter, I understand, outliner is you go in quite detail. When I do my outline, I literally start with the first 10 chapters, put like maybe 3 or 4 things that I want to happen in that chapter. And then normally by about, and it depends on the book, I know my current one that I'm just still drafting, by the end of the third chapter, the girls found something in the basement that they weren't supposed to find till later. So I guess I'm more of a discovery writer. I did try to pants one book, a fourth one, but I only got about 30,000 in, and it was just, I didn't know where I was going, and it was just too different than my normal. I write young adult, and so normally my character ages are about 15, 16 years old. And this one, they were much older, like they were in their 20s, early 20s, like they were already done high school, so it was a little different. But I used a little bit of those ideas to draft Maple River. Except them, instead of them going to this new town, which is something to do with that was the town they grew up or their ancestors grew up in, and it was just, I much prefer the new version. I think I'm a combination too, but that's mainly because most of my ideas were in my head for years because I used to be a major procrastinator when it comes to writing. Yeah, I can sort of relate there. Which is a solace I wrote when my kids were in elementary school, so they were like 9, 10, 11. So I was full-time volunteer mom. And then I was finished that. And when my daughter, I decided to do Essence of Elements. And of course, I wrote books 1 and 2 there. But Lear is ready for proof coffee. Had it all ready. Then the mail strike. However, I do know that with Amazon, they do delivery with their trucks. If you live in certain cities, and my daughter-in-law and her husband live in one of those cities, so I think I'm going to be talking to her over the weekend and just send it to her place, and then I can get it instead of waiting till after the strike. And I know she won't open it, which will be good because I can't wait to open it. So I am going to switch the timer to 20 minutes, and that will bring us up to the top of the hour. And then if you're looking for someone else to sprint with, we've got Sam Wicker, who will be starting right after me in like 20 minutes. And then if you're looking for another Hardy to sprint with, she's also a Hardy. She's like me. She's a Hardy, but she doesn't sprint on behalf of the Heart Breathing Running community. And I will start the last sprint for 20 minutes, and I'll put up the date when I'm sprinting next, which is Wednesday. Switching over, stop, options, 20 minutes. Oh, I forgot to draw the card. Okay, so I am just going to continue shuffling. And this card is sticking out, so I'm going to use it. And it is New Moon in Gemini. Think it through. Your process. Think it through. You might have to do a lot of notes or just talking out loud, but you got this. I think I will go to Sam's for a bit just to get the 1K today. That's fantastic. Okay, I am going to Continue with the kitty timer. See you in 20. And that's the end of our sprints together. I am going to stop sharing because we don't need the kitty anymore. There we go. So hopefully everyone got what they wanted to get done during the last 3 hours. I wanted to do some journaling for that last 20 minutes, but surprise, surprise, my journal is full. Well, I have 2 more pages, but I'm not going to worry about those 2 pages. I'll just start in my next one. And I really hope that I get more journaling and card drawing done for myself. And I just got a notification popped up that Sam is live. And if there's no one else who wants to share, I have a message. 760 words that time, and thanks for the sprints. Well, thanks for showing up for yourself and for others. You got this. Congrats on journaling, finishing 15 pages left. See you at Sam's. You bet. See you over at Sam's. And my last reminder, don't forget, check your email, check the links. There's a full moon over happening with the Broken Chapter Society if you're a member. See you there. Bye for now. Miranda signing out, and I'll be back on Wednesday to get some things done. Things that I can't do when I'm at normal sprints because, well, I cannot go online when I do my own sprints. I could, but everything slows down, so I don't bother. So I try to find things that I can do without going on the computer. Bye for now.